Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, ending with Team 2 in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1's Ruby Red player in the Southeast, we have Major Body Odor going first line as a UEF. He is a 1400. To his northwest, we have in Light Oak Tan the Dawn going first line as another UEF here for Team 1. He is a 1300. And in orange, the color orange here, rounding out the front line here for Team 1 is Touch My Berries going first line as a Seraphim. He is a 1600. And again, he's going first land. To his northeast in Batman Gray, it is Kalos going first line as another Seraphim here for Team 1. He is a 1400. And the last player to introduce here for Team 1 in Royal Blue, it is Nasimka going first line as a Cybran. He is an 1800. He's the highest ranked player on Team 1. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have we have 2 Seraphim and 1 Cybran, which means Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. On Team 2 side of the map, we have in the rear, we have in Rust, Scorpio going first line as a Seraphim. He is a 1600. And in Chevy comes in here, we have Glum 8, or Glumb, depending on if it's a 8 or a B. He's going first line as the one and only Aeon of the game. Actually, there's 2 Aeons in Team 1, never mind. He is a 2,000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. And again, he's in Chevy Crimson. To his north, it is that other Aeon player on Team 2. It is Sito going first land, second to air. He is in Regal Purple, and he is an 1100. In the middle here in Air Mold Green, it is Legend FAF or FAF going first land as a UEF. He is a 1,000 rated player. And rounding out the lineup here for Team 2, it is Cheerios going first land, second air, third land most likely. He is a Cybran in Amethyst Purple as a 1600. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum with a dual major in Aeon. So 1 Cybran, 1 Seraphim, 1 UEF, and 2 Aeon. And for 10 players on the map, how much reclaim do they have to scoop up? They have 41,000 reclaim, which means per player, it is going to be 4.1k mass. Decent, not decent, a ton of mass to scoop up. And in that location of that mass, not necessarily in the middle of the map, on the edges mainly, and in players' main bases. So realistically, what it's going to happen is it's going to be mainly a mad dash for everything but the middle. And in terms of the mass points, there's a lot of them. There's on Team 2 side of the map 1, 2, 3, 4 Trimex positions, a Twin Mechs down here on the little edge, and just a spattering of one-offs everywhere. We do see in the northwest, Team 1's Touch My Berries moving westward to grab this Trimex position and a nice T1 land spam facility. Same thing going down here in the southwest here for CTO, using the quad system around 1 Mechs, being very efficient with that. It looks like he's going to get some Pigeons as well to assist with some energy costs. In the middle of the map here, we do see there is a momentum moving for both teams towards the middle of the map. And again, as a reminder, there's not really a lot of mass in terms of reclaim to scoop up. It's mainly just going to be for the Mexes. But there's a lot of Team 1 land scout spam outbound from Team 1's players, at least 2 of the 3 of the land players on this game. We do see in the east as well, Major Body Odor moving southward to again claim that front line. There's a little bit of a no man's land here in the middle of the map, both for Mexes and for mass. So it's going to be a little bit more probably defensive play, at least a little bit, just due to the fact that the other team, if they do launch an assault, they really have to force that team back to really make some sort of gain. Because the middle of the map, there's nothing really here. You can deny Mexes, but if you want to claim Mexes, there's not really anything you can do unless you really get into the enemy's territory. We do see a couple of land scouts get past the forces for CTO and his comm himself. And they're targeting the engineers and also, of course, just anything and everything they can. This Mechs will go down. They are being chased by an Aurora. And there is a bomber online as well, so they'll deal with that. So, a couple of scouts for Team 1 Mechs, not too bad. Nothing to write home about, but, you know, again, you got something. It's better than nothing. And those Selens are able to move out of the way of that bomb, but the Aurora does finish them off again. And now the Selens over here going after this mass Extractor as well. So Team 2's Cito really just not really suffering too bad, but isn't really feeling too well at this incursion from his opponent of Team 1's Touch My Berries. In the east, or at least towards the eastern direction, we do see Scorpion on the front line as well, and Team 2's Glumb as well assisting Legend of FAF in the middle. So 3 comms in the middle map here for Team 2. Team 1 only has 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kalos shift southward to assist, but we could see just a rush towards the Dawn. The Dawn, again, he doesn't really know what's going on this side of the map. He doesn't have any radar online, doesn't have any sort of air scouts over the top. He might just get swarmed right here by Team 2 if those 3 comms decide to just push in. And units are sitting right on his doorstep. Look at this. He can't even see them. He does not have the vision or radar to see them. This could be an easy kill here for Team 2 if they so choose to go for it. And Team 2, do they know what's going on? I mean, not really. They don't know either, so it's both just kind of a shot in the dark. But I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, we see Team 1's The Dawn moving in to get some veterancy on board that commander. Will the comms move in to assist? We do see Kalos shifting a little bit southward, going for some mexes. And in the west, things are starting to at least cool down a little bit. In the east, mainly just build up and posturing, not really a whole lot of advancements. Really in the middle is where things are starting to go down here. We have the Dawn versus Scorpion, Glum, and Legenda. And this is not really going well. The Dawn needs to get out of the range sooner rather than later. 3 comms are going to just absolutely body that comm of the Dawn. And Scorpion focusing on taking out any reinforcements for the Dawn, and these other comms just wanting to get into range. Pings go down saying, hey, watch out, Scorpion is here, Glum is here, and now we have a bomber over top. That's not going to help the situation as well for the Dawn. This will be an early departure here for Team 1. Legend of FAF getting in as well. Everybody wants a piece of this action. We do see Kalos shifting eastward. He might try it. Nope, he's just going to go for a T1 facility, and this will be most likely a kill if Team 2 decides to push. Scorpion shifts over here to... Is he... Wait, hold on. What is he doing? Is he... I don't know. Maybe he was reclaiming. I don't know what he was doing. Looked like he was capturing for a second. But the Dawn just control Ks. Doesn't want to give anybody the credit on Team 2 for the kill. And it's now a 4v5 in favor of Team 2. We do see reinforcements outbound from Body Odor to assist, but they're being cut off by the forces from Cheerios. Cheerios able to get huge value out of his units, and now coming in with his comm to do the exact same thing. On the eastern side, not really looking well here for Team 1's major Body Odor. The only really kind of momentum in Team 1's direction is this western side, and there's not a lot. It's just due to the fact that Team 2 is being a lot more defensive, and they're not really trying to push against Touch My Berries in that western side of the map. And Nasimka will inherit everything that the Dawn owned, but Scorpion getting tons of value will most likely get either really, really close or get his first star veterancy. And Glum is in the yellow, but he'll be fine. He's again surrounded by some teammates. It does look like Legenda is retreating, and looks like Team 2 is going to continue to push into Team 1's territory. And all of these units outbound from Cheerios just shoving their way forward, going to get tons of value. Might even go after this position over here. There is a T2 land headquarters online with some pillars, and those units are going to continue to just force their way forward. Could have actually gone after this position and essentially knock out Major Body Odor entirely. They want to get some damage onto, well, something on Team 1 side of the map. T3 air online for Nasimka. Not sub 8 minutes, but 8, 10 maybe, 8 minutes even. That is a really, really, really quick T3 air facility. Team 2, not even there yet. Oh, almost there actually. So Team 2's Glum almost at T3 air. Nasimka's barely in the lead there, and it looks like a secondary air player of Scorpion making their way for that. Gun, speed, and range going down here for both Touch My Berries and Kalos, both being Seraphim, so they have the exact same upgrades, of course. The Cybran would have the same style upgrade with the speed and range, and then the UEF would have, of course, the damage and range. with the Aeon having those two upgrades split. But those forces do get stopped pretty easily. Actually, no, they do shift back over to the east to go after Major Body Odor. Everything has been gifted over to Nasimka. Major Body Odor senses the threat. He's going after Cheerios Commander. Cheerios is a Cybran. Major Body Odor is a UEF, so he has a little bit more hit points than Cheerios. But Cheerios starting to really just beat down on Major Body Odor. He has some Mantis support. And Cheerios is going to get out of range, or at least try to get out of range. He reclaims probably by accident. And Major Body Odor either will die here, control K here, or both. Not really looking good, especially when you gift everything over to your teammate and your base is essentially just destroyed. Team 2 getting huge value out of these T1 units going after everything that Major Body Odor goes. So even if it's handed over to Nasimka, it's not really worth anything at this point. Team 2 now shifting westward a little bit, going after Callus. Callus being surrounded by strikers from Legend of FAF. He has some reinforcements from these pillars outbound from the Simca, but we are seeing some units to assist as well from Touch My Berries. But the forces for Team 2 Sitio coming in from behind. It's going to just be a battle of 5 armies in the middle of the map here. It is not looking good for either team, at least in terms of their land units. These forces actually just say, hey, no point in going after the units. You might as well just force your way forward. This actually causes the units from Touch My Berries to retreat and really breaks up that fighting in the middle of the map. And Team 1's player of Major Body Odor does succumb to Cheerios, and that is a now 3v5 in favor of Team 2. And Cheerios is down at 5,000 hit points, but there's really nothing nearby. And everything is gone here for Team 1's Nasimka that he got from Major Body Odor. And those units do collapse onto Touch My Berries position. They are Aurora, so they're pretty weak in terms of actual hit points. There are some Ilshis online that will prevent the destruction of this base. Touch My Berries does have the Nano Repair almost done, Gun online, and the Regen also online. So realistically, he's not dying anytime soon unless he gets absolutely swarmed, which probably wasn't going to happen anyway. It's just because he has units nearby, like those Ilshis anyway. Strap Bomber over the top here for Team 2's air player of Glum, going after some backline Mexes, going after Touch My Berries first. There are a lot of interceptors nearby and some ASF as well. That first bomber, it's going to die. It's going to go off screen though, or at least go up in the mountains, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to reclaim up there. But, I mean, killed off a T2 Mechs, better than nothing, but not by much though. I don't know if it was really worth the mass loss is essentially what it is. Pillars just bodying their way forward here forward into Simca, just forcing Team 2 back with some assistance from Callus, of course. Just doing a great job in just getting rid of all that T1 spam that was built up for a while for Team 2. And with T3 Air online for 2 players on Team 2, Team 1 probably should start having somebody else transition to T3 Air, because Team 2 will start outproducing Team 1. And once you have air, once you have the skies overhead, there's a lot of options that do come available to Team 2. Lots of T1 PD being built to protect Mechs' investments. You see some units running around. There are some pillars here. And you should be able to punch through those wall sections pretty quickly, but they're not really going for any. Oh, there they go. There goes the shots are fired. But one pillar is down. I think the PD will get another one killed off. There are some Mantis coming in to assist. Everything that was from the north shoves their way southward to just protect their investments, and pillars trying to hold them off. Again, this is really interesting environment here. Even if they shove all the way south, there's not really anything that can go. They're kind of just cornering themselves in that side of the map, and pretty much a slowdown. Still momentum going in Team 1's direction, but it's a lot slower in terms of getting, again, through this huge amount of spam. And that's the problem here with No Man's Land. You don't really gain anything. You do deny a lot, but you don't really gain anything. So I guess you do gain things in some way, but you don't take it for yourself. You kind of just deny it. Strap Bomber outbound here from Team 1's Nasimka, going after this position over here. Takes out 2 Mexes. Outbound here for Cheerios. ASF on the case, trying to go after that Strap Bomber. ASF is behind it. Does take a ton of hit points off of it. And it is being escorted, and that Strap Bomber dies anyway, so never mind. Like, what is this? Says Says Cheerios. Looks like Cheerios being attacked here. Not even going through the front line here for Team 1. They're deciding to go eastward. There's very interesting engagements in terms of land. The land, in terms of the layout, very much kind of forces natural choke points as well. It doesn't make anything realistically easy to traverse. I'd say the only way to really get into your opponent's base via land is in the west or east, being Team 1, Team 2. And this position in the middle, everything else is kind of just, you're dealing with pathfinding issues, you're dealing with, again, not really fun to traverse that environment, and especially just like this, it's like, okay, how are you going to get through that? Oh, that little narrow neck of land, that's great. And there's a bunch of holes and stuff everywhere. It's not great for land, and I think that's why Team 2 is going for air, just because it's a little bit easier to control land if you play defensive, which in FAF, the defensive player usually has the advantage. Not always, but usually has it, unless he's being absolutely just ran over by units. So that's definitely where it is. CTO kills off Touch My Berries. Touch My Berries pushed their way forward and paid the price for a couple of PD online. And that's really what it was just spritz down of the hit points. And unfortunately, that is another player that has departed the game for Team 1. It is now a 5v2, sub 15 minutes. So Team 1 only has Callus and the Simcoe remaining, with everybody else on Team 2 alive. Again, the benefit of this is that all the mass goes into fewer hands. The downside is the APM heavily favors Team 2, excuse me. We do see some Titans online, just again trying to blitz down everything that Legend is building. He's just spamming out units, making it very difficult to just get anywhere here for Team 1. In the west here, it's going to be a little bit more of a slowdown with the death of Touch My Berries. Team 1's probably not going to prioritize this as much. They really want to punch through the middle. They might start shifting eastward. Team 2 is pretty weak over here. There's really nothing that will defend against a push from Team 1 on this eastern side here for Cheerios. Cheerios and Scorpion just hanging out. Cheerios go for some Mechs so he can again try to get some more eco. But those Mechs here that he's building are not going to finish. And those Titans again assisting the Riptides and Pillars and Parashields, and everything else here is not going well here for Cheerios on that eastern side. But it looks like all of this spam starting to shift in a direction, start to move northward. We do have Callus going for a nano repair. That will finish before these units get there. Not really a huge threat in going after, or him worrying about having to cancel the upgrade, because those units are going to come for him. No, he's not really worried about it. He'll finish and get out of range. He does have gun as well, so he does have a way to defend himself as well. ASF starting to congregate here over this position. They know that Team 1 probably wants to break through on this way. We do see Comms moving in that direction to assist. We see Scorpion and Plum moving in. Cheerios doing his best. He has Nano and Gun on board, so he's not completely vulnerable. Overcharging, killing off a couple more of those bricks. Will force this back for a time being, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more T3 and T2 units outbound here from this eastern side from Team 1. And seeing what's going on Team 1 side of the map. Not really anything so far. It is only 17 minutes. Feels like the game's been going on a lot longer for some reason. I don't know if it's because players got T3 air really quickly. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I guess it doesn't help that 3 players died on the same team before 15 minutes. It probably makes the game feel a little bit faster. ASF over the top, just having some disagreements about which style of aircraft is better, or which weapon system is better, whether you have a direct fire weapon system or missiles or whatever the case may be. We have some restorers online for Glum, and I don't see any well, there's some there's some skyboxers, but again, restorers have a lot of hit points, so it's going to take a while to chew through them. Restorers focusing on the Titans first, probably should focus on the stuff shooting them first, and then everything else. That Restorer is really suffering now. It's lost more than 20%, and now the target priority has switched to AA. There it goes. That Restorer will most likely survive, and then be severely weakened, but again, you can still do 100% damage at 1% health. And we see a little bit more of a punchback here from Team 2 on this eastern side by Cheerios, trying to just annoy Team 1 as much as you can. And that's pretty much probably the way that Team 2 is going to win this game, is just constantly annoying, constantly just poking and prodding. Because unless they lose a lot of players very quickly, you know, Team 1 can build up very, very quickly. 340 mass just underneath the coffers for Team 1's Nasimka. 190 here for Callus. It doesn't help Nasimka because he's lost a lot of mass potential from both the Dawn and from Major Body Oda's positions, just because everything was killed off that early in the game. We do see a nice pushing coming here from the combined forces of Nasimka and Callus. Ilshis, Othams, Titans going after essentially just T1 units. We see a lot of Lobos. We see a lot of Strikers. It's just chewing through the chaff, essentially, for Team 1 to do. And Team 2, again, just sitting here and just been like, yeah, we'll just throw 1,000 units at you and see if we can break through. Honestly, that is Legend's position. It's just, I'm going to spam up some really, really cheap units and call it a day. He does have T3 land online now. Going to get some engineers, probably for some Ravagers. Yep, that's what he's building now to defend. He knows that it's not going to last very long with this push in terms of just how much spam he has. It's not enough. He really needs more advanced units. He needs those Titans. He needs those Perseus. He needs those, I mean, even Pillars. Just something to really chew through those hit points. T3 coming online here for Scorpy. Blum doesn't have any upgrades. Does Legend have any upgrades? He does not have any upgrades. Does CTO have any upgrades? No. Does no one on Team 2 have any upgrades besides Scorpy? No. Cheerios has upgrades. That's right. But only 2 players on Team 2 have upgrades for their comms? Not even gun? That's very weird. You see those units shifting westward. Looks like they're trying to isolate the frontline position here for Sito in the west. And again, the environment makes it very difficult to traverse. They essentially cornered themselves. Not the best place to be, I might add. If Team 2 had an Awasa bomber online, those would be killed instantly. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to escape. Cheerios gets pinged. I don't know if that's probably from Team 1, most likely. Looks like the comm is going to get picked up. Question mark? Possibly? Nope. It looks like it was going to be. Then he's just going to walk back anyways. Missile launcher outbound, going after that transport. Oh, actually, going after the comm, it looks like. Not even the transport. And looks like he's going to get home pretty safely. I don't know. Oh, no. I don't. Transport. I don't even know what's going on anymore over there on that eastern side here for Cheerios. Cheerios, you know, has his issues over there dealing with Team 1's Nasimka. And in the west, we have Sito dealing with Callus with those forces. It's a ton of Aurora spam. Again, very weak units, but do have a lot of range. We're just talking about 88 Aurora. Going to start ripping through hit points. But again, now the Othams are going to rip through them as well. Lightning tanks are able to target ground units, but it is definitely a benefit to those units. But of course, those are the ones, actually, I mean, just everything's being targeted at this point. We are seeing some Harbingers now appear here for Sito. And most of those Othams actually got killed off, but a lot of those Othams took the brunt of those casualties. This position will most likely fall, especially with Nasimka pushing as well from the north. But a lot of those Aurora did stand strong in the defense of their homes. We do see Cheerios being forced back by Nasimka here in the east. Does have a brick online. Scorpy going for gun as we speak. Has T3 online for some additional hit points. Cheerios is falling pretty close to the red. The gun upgrade is done. There are some pillars in the mix. If they focus fire on Cheerios' commander, that is it. That is game over. He gets a rank in veterancy. That will assist with staving off the threat of death. Cheerios falling below 6,000 hit points. Both new gunships online for Scorpio as well. Shots from those Perseus are outbound. Overcharging into that Percy. Kills that one off. 2 more remain. Cheerios back in the yellow. And Overcharge kills off the last remaining 2. Team 2 almost loses a player, but Scorpio comes in and saves the day. I mean, I think Cheerios may have been able to get out of range, but it would have been very close, most definitely. And that's going to be, again, a lot of veterancy for both of those players. Shield started here for Glum in the middle, wants to protect against any sort of strap bombing rushes that might occur, or gunships, or whatever that may come down the pipeline. Team 1 essentially knocking out Team 2 from the western edge of the map, at least the northwestern edge. Lots of units coming in for Legends position. Sito coming in to assist as well. No upgrades on board either of these commanders. They need to start being a little bit more defensive with said commanders. That's really their main unit. They have a couple of T3 units, but it's really just the comms have been really pulling most of the weight here for Team 2's land game. With 2 players going for air, it really, you lose on land, but you gain on air. I feel like Team 2 is, they want to claim the air game, and if they want to do that, they'll take some losses in the land game. But we do have some units trying to just run by this Ravager fire base, or actually main base essentially. It's not even a fire base, it is the main base. So we do see those units moving around this mountain. It will take them a while to get around there. We do see some engineers dropping off, probably for building some T2 PD emplacements. And they are getting into the main base here for Glum. Glum getting that shield upgrade. Does have some restorers online. Luckily here for him, it's only T1 units, so not really a lot of damage capable on board those units. But the main threat is over here to the northwest. Team 1 can either do 2 things: continue to push or try to claim this position. I feel like claiming it would be better. Getting a nice little fire base really close to the front line here would be beneficial, but no, they're just going to continue to push. I don't think that's the play. I think the play is to stay there. Really just get a defensible position online. Tito going for gun range. Already has speed online. Going to probably go for advanced range after that. Advanced range almost done for Glum. And he's going to go for speed next. He has the heavy shield Aeon Sniper Commander. And he is going to put himself in harm's way to defend his land, his liberty, his friends, his territory, his whatever. And those upgrades are done. Nano repair has also been started here for Scorpion. Probably going to go for advanced nano here pretty shortly. And advanced range has been started here for Cito as well. Team 2 now getting into the calm upgrading spot of the game where most land players usually do. And with that, let's take a look at the game overall. Team 1 has 2 players left, that being Callus and Nasimka. Sorry, Team 1 has 2 players left. I think I said Team 1. Team 2 has all of their players remaining. Cito has lost his main base, but he's still in the game. Team 1 sitting at almost 900 mass. Team 2 a little bit ahead of that. But still, given the discrepancy and all of the mass kill on Team 2's side of the map, it's definitely pretty much an even game so far in terms of generation. Map control does favor Team 1, but of course, let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. And of course, thank you so very much for watching to this point in the video. Team 2's Glum loses this air grid, at least the secondary air grid that he was building from these Othams, but he does come in with his comm to assist. Going to get veteran seed up very, very quickly if he keeps killing Othams and Ilshis. Ilshi gets in, going after some more engineers. PD shot fires, kills that Ilshi off, and the threat from Team 1 is stopped for the time being. And it's not really looking good here for Team 2. Team 2 is cornered. I mean, they are in a corner, to be fair. But they're being cornered. They've lost frontline positions in the west, in the middle, and essentially in the east. The only frontline, quote-unquote, position left is this position. And they do have this little, couple of mixes down there. Bombers in the corner of the map. But look at this. Just look at the mini-map on the western side of the screen. Team 1 de facto owns the entire northern section of the map, with, obviously a lot of mexes for them to grab. Team 2, even though, well, it looks like Team 2 is now losing the mass generation, but it was for a minute. Team 2 was still winning that mass generation game, even though they had less mexes under the control. They had a lot more upgraded. Team 2 needs to fight back in land, or they're going to lose the game here. There's only so much you can do with air. On the land, you can just build a bunch of AA and actually cancel out air. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place here. Team 1 in the northeast to get a decent air grid here for him over there for Nasimka. SMD's coming online here for Callus just to protect himself against any sort of nukes that may occur. I mean, Team 1 essentially can just sit back, eco up, and win the game. I mean, we have Nasimka at 600 mass income. We can start seeing artillery, nukes, game enders, just a bunch of T4 experimental spam. Whatever the case may be, he's definitely in the driver's seat of this game, and probably obviously a high value target here for Team 2. I mean, at this point, Team 2 might as well just play the assassination game. You kill off the last 2 remaining comms, that's it, game over. You don't have to worry about all the units. We do see a nice frontal assault now coming online here for Team 1. Once again, going for Legend's position. Shield is coming online here for Cito. Legend still doesn't have any upgrades on board that commander. Not even the Zephyr. Nothing. He has nothing on board that comm. Probably should go for a gun, and he is retreating as we speak. We do see Scorpion, and Team 2's Glum is on a transport. He's going to the front line. He's going to hot drop on top of those units outbound from Callus, and the lightning tank almost takes out the transport, killing Glum. That was very close, very, very risky. We do have some gunships that want to engage, but not really going to go well. Spy planes over top can get some nice vision on what's going on that side of the map. Overcharging here from Scorpion. We have 4 of the 5 comms here for Team 2 using their well, one of them isn't, but 3 of them at least on Team 2 using their comm to high degrees. The units outbound here from Team 1 focusing on all the infrastructure, all the all the defenses, everything, and the comms focusing the units. I feel like at this point Team 1 should probably focus on some comm destruction, because we have 2 gun comms online, another one over here for Cito. It doesn't have the shield or heavy shield, but at least has the advanced range and speed upgrades. Going after anything and everything here for Team 1. Look at this, just ripping through everything. 12,000 mass killed. We have 11,000 mass killed, 300 mass killed, but that's going to go up very quickly. I mean, again, Cito does have nothing to his name. He only has 1 mass income, so he's trying to do the best that he can. He probably should get some pigeons and get some e-storages, so at least he can overcharge at a minimum. And Cougar coming in, taking out a couple of those gunships. Team 2 is able to fight back Team 1's advances. They do lose a decent amount of those Ravagers, well, all of them actually, and the pigeon almost went down. Glum being sniped at by some sniper bots here from Team 1's Seraphim player of Callus. You can see those. I really like the nice kind of very thin design of the sniper bot. The one for the Aeon is fine, but I don't know. It looks like a Harbinger with a longer gun essentially. But Team 2 and Team 1 have the first major airfight of the game. Restorers coming in to assist as well will force back the ASF from Team 1's Nasimka. Neither player really won that. It was mainly just that, we're just going to have a fight, kill off some ASFs, and that's it. And now the Restorer is going after all of the skyboxes here. T3 parashields from the Seraphim variety, being able to stave off a decent amount of attacks, but there's only so much you can do. Gunships from the Voltus as well. I do like this mix of units. There's some T2, very cheap, and some T3 heavy gunships. I do like that mix. And be able to try to respond in different ways. I don't know if the Voltu does more damage than the Restorer. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to tell. I have to do kind of a one-by-one comparison, clicking on all of them and reading the info and whatnot. But right now, we're focusing, of course, on the game. In the West, we have Nasimka just, again, forcing his way forward. Once again, had he not pushed in and tried to take out the air grid, which came back online anyways, he probably would have had this position on lock by now, but he went for the risky play. It didn't work out. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes it just happens that you take the risky play, it works, and you take the risky play and it doesn't work. But I feel like you should have just stayed there, to be honest with you. We do see a Monkey Lord get annihilated by those Percies here from Team 1's Nasimka in the east. And this will be a nice little reclaim field, most likely for Team 1, because Team 2 will be forced back. A lot of those units are killed off. Well, actually, a decent amount of them are just bouncers, so not really a lot of attack power in terms of land v land. We are in the 30-minute stage of the game. We see Awasaw Bomber starting to be constructed, and SMD starting to come online as well. Shield has been started here for Cito. Just going to spend whatever he has. Like I said, probably should go for some pigeons. Is getting some overflow from his teammates, so he's getting something. Just a couple of maybe T1s, and then a E-storage, and call it a day. You're going to use your comm aggressively on the front lines. You might as well to have overcharge. Just something is better than nothing at this point. And Nasimka starting to approach 800 mass income per second. Chicken online, or almost online for Callus. I thought I saw another one somewhere. Yeah, there's a chicken over there for Nasimka. And the units again building up here for Team 1. Team 1 has to really just shove everything they have down Team 2's throat to really break through the 4 comm position that is occurring. The only other comm that's not here is Cheerios, and he's over here underneath some shield coverage, lying in wait for some units to approach him. We do see again another Monkey Lord online for Cheerios, forcing back Team 1. This monkey wants to avenge the death of his brother and claim the wreck, and take it home and put it on the mantle, and remember the fallen warriors, that kind of thing. That laser not really targeting the unit for some reason. It was shooting right behind him, which was very weird. but looks like Team 2 will be able to lock down that mass for the time being. In terms of reclaim, Team 2 sitting at 122,000 mass and climbing Team 1 at 82. And a lot of that's due to the fact that Team 2 has just been the recipient of tons of T3 unit attacks. And that mass adds up very, very quickly, as seen. In terms of total mass gain, Team 2 is ahead by 100,000, and that's obviously partly due to the, the reclaim, but that's also part due to the fact that they were leading the mass game for a while. The Team 1, of course, is catching up a 1.3, 1.4k mass income per second. We do see a chicken in the west versus a chicken in the west as well here for Team 1. We do see, I thought Nasimka was building another chicken somewhere. No, that was Callus who's building the chicken. Never mind. And it looks like it's going to favor Team 1, at least in terms of the Land B Lancer. There's a lot of Ilshis coming in to assist that chicken here for Team 2. Awasa Bomber is done. That's going to definitely shift things a little bit. Maybe not necessarily in Team 2's direction, but at least kind of make it more of an even playing field. I feel like the Awasa Bomber could just bomb all of these units. Looks like the bomb was going to drop, but then doesn't. Bomber does retreat for the time being. Chicken died off essentially at the same time. Ion Storm will get huge amounts of value with these units just sitting here for Nasimka. All the Ilshis, all the Authams, all the everything, even some engineers from Callus are going to get caught in that Ion Storm. And more units to the west here. There are some lightning tanks, so not really a lot of actual tanks, but going to be able to deny some restorers. Bomber somewhere else. I see it over here being highly aggressive against the land units that are coming south. And again, Team 2 is just waiting for Team 1 to assault. And that again is the downside with being being highly defensive, is if your opponent really wants to push you, you can say, well, okay, we'll come through the front door. I'll lock it behind you, but come through the front door. Why not? And that just favors the defensive play with the mass. As long as Team 2 can keep the territory that they have, or pretty much keep the territory they have, as Team 1 just constantly barges on their door, the reclaim is gonna just skyrocket. I mean, we're already seeing that. It was 40,000, now it's 70,000. That number's only going to widen as Team 1 continues to assault. Well, I cannot speak today for some reason. I do apologize for that. And let's see, any game enders possible? Oh, that's one. Yolana Oz has been started here by Scorpy, the secondary air player of the game. I call him secondary because I feel like Glum is the primary. And Glum being very aggressive with his commander, sitting with the commander on the transport, waiting to deliver him somewhere else to defend. Missile outbound. Yep, missile outbound from Team 1 over here to the north. Yeah, no, nice little tactical missile launcher over there. And Bomber going after these units as well. Bomber getting a decent amount of value out of it as well, because it's just able to kill off all the group of land units. Okay, dead. Group of land units. Okay, dead. Like, it's very easy to just respond to that. Look at this. And gone. All those units except for that lightning tank done and dusted. Large groups of T3 units building up here. Where'd that chicken go that Team 1's Callus had? Oh, it's over here. I think it was transferred over to Nasimka. And in the east, Monkey online going after some bricks that tried to run by. GC says Callus. Team 2 does have a GC, and they're just going to park it right next to that chicken wreck and claim that wreck for themselves once they get engineers over there. And that engineer already on a transport to go after that reclaim. Love to see that. Team 2 is hyper-focused on getting reclaim. I mean, when you have a bunch crashing on your doorstep, you might as well scoop it up. And Team 2's Glum just, again, using that transport to ferry him around the map to defend. Again, there's a lot of units here. It is a very risky play. He doesn't have a lot of shield left. And, of course, again, there's a chicken. There's a bunch of Authams. The Awasa Bomber overtop going to start softening up those units here for his teammates. Glum's commander does do a lot of damage, but move calm, says Cheerios, and Glum goes, that's probably a good idea. And those units, again, are going to funnel into a natural choke spot and kill box, which means Team 2, had they build up more PD, could essentially just kill them off, and artillery could easily kill them off very quickly. But Monkey distracting all of the units, pulling them away from this choke point, moving eastward. Monkey actually moves into assist, but then goes, oh, we'll go this way. All these units now shift eastward. I don't know if that was the play. I feel like maybe they should have just, even though tactically in terms of, choke points, it's not great to just walk through one. Team 2 isn't set up for, essentially an ambush. which means Team 1 could easily just barrel on through, maybe take out Cheerios' base. I don't know if they get the air grid, but at least killing off something on Team 2 is better than nothing. But how much mass are they going to spend to kill stuff off? That's the question. It's all about how much mass are you spending to accomplish something. If you're spending 100 mass to kill off 1,000 mass, that's great value. You're spending 10,000 mass to kill 1,000 mass, not great value. It's like we're at Walmart. You had to get your great value. And the monkeys do push forward against two monkeys versus a chicken with a lot of Team 3 support. That's only going to favor Team 1. But again, the mass is on Team 2's doorstep. That is the main thing. Even if the fight occurs and Team 2 loses it, the fight still occurs on their doorstep. It's a lot easier to reclaim when it's 2 feet away versus when it's 1,000 feet away. And we do see the air fight does favor Team 2 quite heavily. Look at all those ASFs killed off by the just hordes of them outbound from Glum and Scorpy. And again, Scorpy is just pumping out ASFs as well. He has a bomber. He's being very assistive in the sense of he's not being... Well, I mean, he's also going for a YOLO, to be fair. So he's essentially being that, I'm going to be the assist here. I'm going to build the YOLO. You guys defend. I'm going to still produce, ASFs and have a bomber and whatnot. And even... The downside is even if Team 1 does, get to this position in terms of on the doorsteps of the air grid for Scorpy, they're going to have that YOLO to deal with. Does Team 1 know about it at least? They know nothing. Oh, actually, no, they do know about it. They haven't pinged it. All they know is that there's a stealth field generator down there, and there is an icon. They just have to zoom in. So if you're playing like this, all you'll see is the stealth field generator and not actually zoom in and see this. So the players on Team 1 who are dead probably should start scouring the environments to find stuff like that. They're dead, so they can't really do a whole lot besides just being men in the chair. Which, again, men in the chair, those roles are very important because it does take off the load of your teammates. Being like, okay, hey, there's a thing over here. You should think about how to deal with it. There's this over here. Hey, you have units over here not doing anything. Like these, Monkey Lord's just kind of sitting there. You can move them over here. There's no attacks on this vector. And, again, because it would take so long to traverse all the way to the south and all the way to the west. A couple of bricks, that's not that bad. But sending an entire land force, Team 2 could easily build up defenses to deal with that. It's not really worth the time and effort. Might as well just send it forward. And Team 1, almost at 40 minutes. We have Nasimka at 800 and Callus at almost 800 as well. So, 1,600 mass income for Team 1 versus 1,200. Team 1, are you pumping it into anything else? Crab is online. Artillery coming online here shortly. Chicken's coming online more and more. Chicken also online. There's experimentals just sitting here. You have a chicken over here. Sorry, chicken over there, crab over there. It just goes to show that the APM and the subcom brain really starts to take a toll on performance in this game. How's that YOLO doing? YOLO is in the yellow, almost in the green. Using the environment to its advantage and shield it from at least a couple of bombs. You can see if strat bombers came in. Why are there solaces? Why, Glum, why are there T3 torpedo bombers? Did you build the wrong thing by accident? It's possible, but are you just doing it for the memes of the fact that they can't be useful because they're torpedoes and you need water to use them? I don't know what happened with that. Is there anything in chat? No. Torp says Scorpion. Scorpion makes a comment about it. He's like, why? And he just control K's them right here. Is he delivering mass to his teammate? Saying, here's some mass, scoop it up for that. YOLO, you could just give mass. I feel like it'd be easier to just give the mass over than the reclaim torps. That's hilarious. Just why? There's easier ways to give mass. That's really funny. A screenshot of that. That's just it's one of those things where, this Scorpy and Glum are having fun with the game. Even though a lot of players take the game seriously, and I would expect most to, but you gotta have some fun with it sometimes. And instead of being like, hey, I'm gonna give you some mass by the normal mass donation thing, it's like, no, I'm gonna build some torps, control K them next to your YOLO, and say to you reclaim them that you do the work to pick up the reclaim essentially. We do see lots of engineering efforts from Glum to, again, scoop up Reclaim. How much Reclaim is currently still on the map? Oh, that's a lot. That is 200,000 Reclaim, which means it's almost enough to build anything in the game. That is a lot of mass, and a lot of it, honestly, sitting right in front of Team 2's Cheerios. There's also a decent amount of mass here that obviously the Colossus adds to that. But there's a lot of just, Reclaim everywhere. There's that Trap Bomber up there that's been there for a while. That's going to be really hard to reclaim. Probably not going to be reclaimed, to be fair. And Team 1, there's a lot of engineers running around to scoop the reclaim up, but is Nasimka spending it? No, he's spending it. Callus, same thing. He has a little bit of mass in his bar, but that's about it. YOLO has been completed. Shield operations have commenced. Not assisting the upgrade, not the upgrade, but the construction of the nuke first. I do love this because he's focusing more on, hey, I want this thing to survive more than just 1 or 2 nukes. I'm going to build some PD. I'm going to build some shields. I'm going to build maybe some AA. I do love this just because, again, like I said, it's more about getting so much value out of the nuke instead of just mass trying to load the nuke as much as possible and run the risk of losing it. Scorpy is building what he can to defend it so he can keep it longer. So I love that. And of course he's building it in a place where kind of hard to approach via land. You have to walk all the way around. You can't just like walk up to it. And it's obviously in the back of Team 2's base. We have that. Artillery is online. Team 1's Nasimka trying to just, poke and prod at the air grid. At this point in the game, the air is not the concern. The concern is the YOLO. If Team 2 loses air, yeah, it sucks. But as long as they can keep that YOLO online, it doesn't really matter. So Team 1's main goal is, again, notice the YOLO, which they can see the icon on the map. They can probably figure what it is, and they can highlight over it and see, oh yeah, that's a YOLO. Nuke is outbound from Team 2's YOLO. Where is it going? It's going for Nasimka's position for the artillery. There's an SMD. It probably is sufficiently loaded. The bomber finally gets killed off after, 10, 15 minutes at a minimum. Got a decent amount of value out of that sucker. And again, Team 2 not being aggressive, being defensive. 42 minutes on the clock. Team 1, again, 2 players left. Team 2 has all 5 players left. We could see a game where Team 2 keeps every single player alive. Sito has not controlled Caden left. He's still in the game. He's still contributing. I'd love to see that, getting some T1 PD. Now he's getting an E-storage just to get some overcharge in. He's trying to protect Legend and himself. Love to see that. Trying to do what he can to defend. Callus with a chicken online. Where is Glum's commander? He's over here to the southeast, sitting next to a crab that's been constructed. It's actually going to get picked up by that Illuminar T2 air transport and is going to the west. The crab is online for Cheerios, and the defensive measures have been engaged, so he's not really going to worry about that side. This is the site to worry about. ASF sitting on the ground. That's not a good thing. You need to move those out of range of those lightning tings and chickens. Another nuke outbound here from Team 2. And 2 chickens to the west. This air grid is going down. There's no hope for that air grid. Will Team 2 Scorpio keep his air grid? We'll see. And we do see Glum moving in to assist. The transport did get shot by some lightning tanks, but is still fine for now. Is going to drop just shy of that shield generator and overcharge into that chicken. Deals a chunk of hit points to it. Chunk of damage to those hit points. He gets actually stepped on right here. That's never a good thing. T1 Bomber's trying to do what he can from Scorpy. Colossus also behind these chickens. The entire air grid over here is gone. So 2 air grids done and dusted. The T3 air headquarters is still alive. I'm going to split it very quickly because there's stuff going on in the middle of the map as well. This air grid is almost gone, and this air grid was assaulted. The Authams are getting in underneath the shield coverage. Ion Storm does activate. Does Glum get out of range? No, he does not. Team 2 loses Glum. Team 1 loses Nasimka due to that YOLO nuke. And Glum is defeated as well. It is now a 4v1 game. Sito coming in to try to defend as well. There's not really a lot left. And the air grid, at least the secondary one, is gone here for Scorpy. Team 2 has lost a significant portion of their air production facilities. And there's more chickens coming online. Chicken focusing the comm of Sito. Will Sito get out of range? I don't know. He has heavy shield and gun and speed and range, advanced range. And that YOLO nuke is still being shot down. I think I'm going to end it at this point. End the split. And Cito, I mean, he might get... Oh, he just needs to get right behind the chicken. One more shot. There he goes. Cito gets killed off as well. Team 2 loses another player here. It is now a 3v1 in favor of Team 2. And there's more units coming in all the time, but they're coming in by 1s and 2s. It's not going to be that effective. You need to keep them sitting there for a second, build up, and then move in all at once. YOLO is outbound. And again, Team 1, they have a chance for air. It looks like they're going to make the play for it. Not a lot of AA was built up, to be fair, by Team 2. And there it goes, the air fight over the top of Team 2's base. All that reclaim will just fall on the doorstep. The air grid for Scorpion is essentially gone. T3 air headquarters is still online. Ion Storm will kill the rest of that off. Team 2 has lost essentially all of their air producing facilities. So all Team 1 has to do is kill off the ASFs, and they'll have air dominance, which they will. How many ASFs does Callus have? We have 100 ASFs in the Seraphim variety, 100 ASFs in the Cybran variety. So 200 ASFs just sitting in Team 2's base, airlocking everything. And they're going to all retreat. No SMG, just GG, says Callus. He does have an SMD. He's building his own YOLO as we speak, trying to mass load an SMD, but it's not really going to work out. 1.7k mass income here for Team 1. That YOLO is outbound. One SMD shot does hit it. It's actually going to land short. Going after the air grid here for Callus. That's going to move most of it. I think this one might be fine.
Strategic launch detected.
It's getting closer. It's getting closer. Oh, no. T3 air headquarters does survive, but just barely. Nuke going to land over here. A couple of SMDs over there. We don't know. Does he know where the comm is? He does not know where the comm is. Doesn't know that the YOLO is being built. If Team 1 can get a YOLO online, that might be it for Team 2. I mean, 3 SMD there, 1, so that's 4. I mean, the main thing is that YOLO down here. PGen's coming online. Lots of PD to protect said investment. But look at this. Look at the carnage that got just everywhere on this side of the map. Multiple air grids done and dusted, multiple chickens. Tons of value out of Team 1. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it happen sooner. If they had gotten the air grids before the YOLO came online, that probably would be game for Team 2, or at least it would, again, be a little bit more even. But with the everything going on, Team 2 has YOLO, Team 1 doesn't. Team 1 has the air control. They should just go full send it for that that YOLO, but they're just not doing it. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, they know where it is. Fight to the end, says somebody from Team 1. Gun. What's going on? Telly says the Simca gun. Telly here. Well, there's there's nothing there though, and Scorpy's there, so he's not a Seraphim commander. If he was, sorry, Cybran commander. If he was a Cybran commander, he'd have the laser, which would definitely assist. But I think he should just go for YOLO at this point. YOLO and mass assist with SMD. That's probably his only way to victory at this point. He's losing the land game a little bit in the east, but it's going to take a while to really affect him. You know, Team 2 did not really build any land, or has not really built any land. They have 3 experimentals here from Cheerios. Why they're over there, I don't know. I don't know why they're not over there. But it's just not... Nothing's really happening. I think Team 1 just lost all of its steam. 48 minutes on the clock. YOLO not being prioritized, going for the teleportation of the comm. Just don't know if it's worth it. Gun splash has been started here. Going to replace the T3 upgrade. And then Ras could probably be replaced with the other gun. T3 has been done here for Cheerios. Apparently he went for T3. I don't think that really matters at this point. And gun is done. Is he going to teleport in? He doesn't have anything left. He doesn't have the regular gun. He will teleport in. There he goes.
Strategic launch
Another SMD. Other nuke. Another SMD. Other nuke is outbound from that YOLO. He's going to park it right next to some PGens. That's not going to feel good. And Scorpy going to hide underneath the shield coverage for his YOLO. There's hardly any AA, if any, on. I don't see any AA. Oh, there's some over here to be found for Scorpy. But Team 1 could have been producing Strat Bombers and rushed the nuke. Looks like air was important. Good carry, says Cheerios. Air was important. I mean, everything is important in the game. Land is important. Navy is important. Everything's important in its own way. It just depends on how it's used in the game that matters. Nuke lands. Kaboom! Kaboom! And kaboom! I don't. Maybe I didn't do those or not, but I was probably distracted by talking and
Strategic
commenting about
launch
stuff.
detected.
Another nuke is outbound. We can see the teleportation materializing here for Team 1's Callus. ASF over the top, protecting against any sort of gunships that have been built. AA is being spammed up now by Team 2, so their advantage, Team 1's advantage, is diminishing as we speak. There is the comm of Callus and gets immediately destroyed. No help for Callus in that regard, and Team 2 wins the game at 49 minutes and 43 seconds. And MVPs for this game, I mean, Glum did a very good job of just being like, oh, I'm going to build a on Sniper Commander with heavy shield and just move around the map protecting my teammates. So that was really good, just kind of running around. He did eventually die, but he did help, again, kill off those chickens before they did more damage. The thing he was probably worrying about is the fact that these were going to come all the way around and kill off the YOLO that maybe Team 1 noticed. That was, well, at that point, I don't think it was started. But anyway, it would have been a threat to go all the way around at least. We have Cheerios did a very good job holding off the major land attacks here in the middle, and Legend as well, doing a very good job with some assistance from his teammates of really just holding position. Scorpio as well, going for the YOLO. That's really what won it for Team 2. Team 2 went, Scorpio went for air, so you had two players going for air. And then Scorpion went, well, I'm kind of done with air. We have air for a while. I'm going to go for nuke, for YOLO. Transition to YOLO, and then won the game with the YOLO. So I think Scorpion might deserve the MVP for this game. Let me know down in the comments if you felt the same way. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.